Donald Trump was indicted on yet more charges, these related to his so-called efforts to overturn the 2020 election, weak as they may be. For the second time, the former president of the United States of America becomes the only former American head of state to face criminal felony charges from the government that he once led. Why? Because Joe Biden has allowed his Department of Justice under Merrick Garland to become weaponized, a weaponized wing of his reelection campaign. That's my opinion. And I think that's an opinion that is shared by many. The new indictment is a damn joke. Okay? There's no easier or better way to put it. The new indictment against Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. is a damn joke. And it would be funny if it were not so scary. Frightening, yes. And all of you liberals out there that are laughing and just having a great time with this, you have a good time with this while you can. Because eventually they'll come after you when you fall out of line. If this is the way that you want it, this is the way that you get it. And liberals have been known to eat their own as well. This is not a partisan issue. It's an American issue. It's an issue as to whether or not we believe in the robust exchange of ideas, whether or not we believe in the concept of freedom of political speech, whether or not we believe in the concept of individual liberty whatsoever. Donald Trump, just like every other American in the United States, has the right to be wrong. I get worked up about it because every one of us should be worked up about it. Every single one of us should be worked up about this. There comes a time when you're going to have to decide whether or not you're willing to defend your rights individually, at risk of going to jail, at risk of being persecuted, at risk of being fired. And I think that time is upon us. Forget the Mar-a-Lago business. The Mar-a-Lago business very well may have some meat on the bone, inasmuch as Donald Trump's being accused of playing fast and loose with some of the stuff that he was being told to hand over to the DOJ. That's all well and good and fine. It is a process crime, in my opinion. I don't think it leads to anything, and I don't think he would be prosecuted one bit were he not running for president of the United States. This matter, it gets under my skin because it's something else, folks. Donald J. Trump is the chief political rival of the sitting president of the United States of America, and he is now being accused of a criminal conspiracy to, quote, obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights, whatever the hell that means. Stemming from his belief that the 2020 election cycle was unfairly decided because of fraud and malfeasance. What the Biden administration, what their criminal cabal is telling you, is that if you have a difference of opinion, if you have legal experts telling you that you have certain rights under the law that allow you to do certain things, if you're being advised that the Constitution says certain things about what you might be able to do as the sitting president of the United States of America to challenge the results of an election that seemed to be unfairly contested, Joe Biden's Department of Justice tells you and me and every other American that's criminal. And if they can go after the president of the United States, why wouldn't they go after you? Now, when I say that Donald Trump has every right in the world to be wrong, it doesn't mean that I think he's wrong on all of the things that he has said regarding the 2020 election cycle, but that's not the point. The point is the Department of Justice has decided to, through Jack Smith, with the blessing of Merrick Garland, criminalize political behavior. So now they tell us that they and they alone are the arbiters of what is truth and what is fiction. Think about that for a moment. The government of the United States of America is telling you, through Donald J. Trump, that they get to decide what the truth is, and they get to decide what the fiction is. And if they, by God, tell you to take a shot, you take a shot, and you don't question it. And if they tell you to shut up about what you saw on election night, you shut up about what you saw on election night. You don't question it. And it's not just a matter of them shouting you down anymore or vilifying you or canceling you through the culture. They want to put you in jail. And they're going through Donald Trump first. The indictment covers actions taken by Donald Trump and yet to be named co-conspirators between November 2020 and January of 2021. Counsel Jack Smith, during his prepared remarks, said the attack on our nation's capital on January 6th was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. I love how they use words like unprecedented. I mean, we had a damn civil. I don't mean to curse. I'm sorry. I'm very worked up. It is very. For
gosh sake, watch your language.
It is very This is very, very bothersome to me. And should we have the opportunity, as we were told we would, to speak with Vivek Ramaswamy, I will ask him the question: is this matter not of such great importance that you would be willing to suspend your presidential campaign and rally behind the guy that they're attacking, Donald Trump? It would occur to me that all of the also-rans in the Republican Party primary ought to be doing this if they believe in this country, if they believe in the future of the United States of America. I'm not overselling it. I'm not overstating it. I'm telling you what is truth. That if they're able to do this, they will preclude the ability for any future individual who is running for public office to challenge the results of the election if they find those results to be suspicious in terms of their fraudulent nature. And right now, they're not telling us that it matters one way or the other whether Trump was right. They're saying that they know better what he believed. They know better what he thought. The argument that they are making in Washington, D.C. court before a very compliant and willing judge. More on her in a little bit. What they are arguing is that they know better about what Donald Trump was thinking than Donald Trump would admit. That Donald Trump, they know what he was thinking in his mind when he was suggesting that there was some wrongdoing going on in Pennsylvania or Georgia or Michigan or Arizona. They know that he knew that he was lying, is the crux of their argument. And so they have fully fallen into the role of thought police, which they've been trying to get into for some time. It's not a matter of what you do that might get you in violation or in a Dutch with the law. It is not what you do, but now in 2023 in the United States of America, it's what you think. If you wrong think, they will come after you. Donald Trump committed wrongthink, and they're coming after him. This is a declaration of war against the voters of this country. The Biden administration has decided to criminalize political speech. It is all about the politics involved in this and shutting down those political enemies that you cannot beat in a free exchange of ideas. And for the life of me, I don't think that anyone's going to do anything about it. I'm naturally a pessimist. You longtime listeners may know that by now. You newbies in the audience, maybe not so much. I fight against my pessimism. You know who taught me to do that? Rush Limbaugh. as I would listen to Rush Limbaugh and he would talk about the trials and travails of our country on this matter or that issue, whatever political issue was before us at any given day, he would always keep an upbeat and positive attitude because he believed in the people of this country. He believed in the people of the United States of America, not the government, the people. And I've always wanted to hold on to that and cling to that. And I choose to be optimistic about the future of this country. It is not in my nature to be so. It is getting harder and harder because more and more people are either completely ignoring the passage of our rights, never to be had again, by the way, or they're complicit in it because of their individual personal desires. Obviously, it makes sense if you want to cut yourself a slice of the largesse of government, you do so through the Democrats. Well, those people, there's no talking to those people. They're being selfish, and they don't care about their country. More and more, I see the Democrat playbook working in as much as they're crushing the spirit of the American people that actually believe. And those individuals want something to rally around. And I'm becoming more and more convinced that whether we like it or not, and I know you never Trumpers don't, that something is Donald J. Trump. He's the only thing I can think of. I don't care if he's caused you heartburn in the past. I don't care if you don't like the way he talks. I don't care if you don't like the way he played loosey-goosey with classified materials in Mar-a-Lago. If they can get him, they can get all of us. And if they get him, it's because of us, because we allowed it to happen. There's a way to stop this, but you better be ready to fight.